Thankful to be here this morning. Seems like it's been forever since we were here last.
That's right.
Well, Tom made the comment this morning and yesterday when we was out there shoveling what message the snow has for us this morning. He said, he made a comment that if he'd have got out here right after it snowed, he could have used his leaf blower and it would have been light enough and he could have got it off with no problem. Well, I grabbed a shovel from home and brought it with me, and the snow wasn't real heavy at first, and I could have a certain amount on it and it'd be just fine. Well, as the sun hit it, if you got that certain amount on there, it got heavier and heavier, and snapped that shovel right in two. So I had to come in and get something a little bit stronger. I want you to stop and I want you to think about all that. Well, I came in and got a stronger shovel and it finished the job just fine. So stop and think about that. A lot of times we have troubles, we have trials. At first they're small. You could just blow them away if you would. And a lot of times, whenever troubles comes along that's not very big, we don't think we need to take it to the Lord. We're like, oh, I can handle this. It's no big deal. Then it gets a little heavier. It weighs a little heavier on you. And it's like the shovel I had with me. You're like, well, I can do this. I can do this. But then, it gets a little too much and all of a sudden it just snaps. Young man, sit down right now. Or go to your nanny. So that's whenever we lost thought there for just a moment. Sometimes we got to get on to the little ones because they're innocent. But they sure like to try everyone's patience. And I could use that along with the troubles that come along, that all of a sudden they just break you to a point. It just breaks that shovel. And guess what? If you didn't have Jesus with you, what would happen whenever you got to that point? Whenever things get a little heavier on you, if you don't have Jesus, it breaks you. Then I want to go to the shovel that was good and sturdy, that never gave any at all. I got to where it was so heavy at times, I was like, man, I can't even lift it. I would just push it up and use my foot to kick it away. But that's when we have Jesus there to take care of it. Jesus is our strength. Think about that. Jesus is the shovel that just, no matter how heavy it gets, it's just not going to break. We have to make sure that whenever things come a little fluffy, that we have Jesus there. Make sure that the Bible tells us, or it's a song on, take your every care to Jesus. I believe it's a song. Take your every care to Jesus. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to take our cares to Jesus. No matter how big or how small. Jesus, if I'd have took it to him whenever it was just light and fluffy and we could have used a blower, he'd have took care of it then. Or if I could wait till that shovel bust, he'd take care of it then. Or if I get one that's just so heavy and that's sturdy, he'll take care of it then. That's what Jesus does. There's not a time that's any better than another for Jesus to work. Right now is the best time for Jesus to work. I was thinking about all the troubles they're having down in Texas with the weather. People want to blame man because they don't have power, or they don't have this, or they don't have that. Well, let me tell you what man makes, God's going to destroy one day. They've never seen it like this before down there. Well, tell you what, God makes things happen. How many people do you think stopped and said, oh Lord, take care of this? No, we want to just go out and we want to blame somebody. That's the problem. We start blaming somebody for our problems, for our troubles. Let me tell you what, the only one I can blame for my troubles and my problems is myself.
That's right.
I can't blame anybody else. If I want my troubles and my problems to get any better, I have to get to where I can get a hold of the Lord. I said get better. I didn't say they'll be taken away, because the Bible tells us it rains on the just and the unjust alike. There's going to be things happen to us. You know, we were worried that her pipes were going to freeze. She couldn't get the washing machine to work there now. I'm like, oh, we gotta call this guy and have him come check it out for us. She's like, no. So, but you know, it was nothing. God takes care of it. And that's what we got to do, though. We got to, as soon as something happens, that's what we need to do. We need to say, well, I need to take it to this guy. Let me tell you, the guy you need to take it to, Jesus Christ. Woo! Take it to him and he'll take care of it. Don't take it to man, take it to Jesus. You know, you got a little problem. Right off the bat, take it to Jesus before it gets worse. You know, Tom and I would have thought, well, you know, we could have come out here and that light snow would have been no big deal several days ago. But you know, if I'd have thought and bought a little blade from a little ATV, I could have brought it over here and done that too. Problem is, we don't think. We react to things. We don't think. We don't plan. You want to know the best plan you can have is to make sure that Jesus is with you wherever you go. I say it most every Sunday. I said, don't forget to take Jesus with you wherever you go. Because that's the best made plan you can have. Is having Jesus there leading and guiding and directing you in everything that you do. Put your trust in Google or Siri and you end up somewhere out in this field somewhere because they weren't correct. Put your trust in Jesus and he'll lead you down the right path. That's what Jesus does. Jesus is that shovel that won't break. No matter how bad your troubles get, no matter how much you put on that shovel, I'll tell you what, Jesus can pick that old shovel up and throw those troubles and cares away. That's what he'll do. But you know what the old devil will do? He'll come along and he'll try to convince you not to go to the Lord. Oh, it's nothing. You can handle this. He might even say, you got this. I'll tell you what, you may have it. But if we keep following after somebody than Jesus, we won't have it for long. We need to be following in his footsteps. I was looking in the snow, so I was going back to the house because if you step in certain spots, it slip. But if I just walked in my footprints, it was just perfectly fine. That's the way it is with Jesus. We walk in his footprints, things will be perfectly fine. You know, whenever you get off the path, and you try to step out somewhere new, and then you slip and fall, and who knows what happens after you slip and fall. Usually breaks something or hurts something. That's why we have to follow in the footsteps of Jesus Christ. You know, he also, whenever things get so bad, that old shovel that he has, a lot of times I'll be sitting on it and he'll be carrying me along. Jesus will just carry me along, get me through the good and the bad times the same. But that's what we have to make sure Well, you know, they'll say whenever life gives you lemons, make lemonade. What it's saying is, whatever life puts in front of you, you have to deal with. But let me tell you, whatever life puts in front of you, make sure that you got Jesus there. You can't just take a lemon and make lemonade if you don't have all the proper stuff to put it in. That's why we have to have Jesus with us wherever we go. You know, Lenita said, well, this winter hasn't been real bad. No, it hasn't. We've had worse winters. We just had a short stretch of things that just felt like they were really bad. And that's the way things are in our lives. You know, there's times whenever it's like, well, this year was really good, or this year was rough. If you stop and you look back, they're one way or the other. And your life gets better. Life is made easier. I know it's easy for me to say, just make sure you have Jesus with you. It makes it easier. Well, it does. But I'm going to tell you what, you can't listen to the radio station and they'll read you a verse out of the Bible or two and tell you this is all you have to do and you'll be so much better. It's more than that. Because if that was the case, I could just stand up here and read you a few verses every Sunday and say, you're going to be better. Let's all have a great week. No. No, I mean, everybody has different problems. Everybody has some kind of problem. Some people are with the really fluffy snow. Some are with the one where it just barely breaks the snow shovel. And some have problems where it takes the heavy-duty shovel. And it takes different answers for different problems. Kind of like whenever you're a little kid, they teach you 1 + 1 is 2. And by the time you're in high school, they give you A + B × C = D / E F squared. And you're like, things get harder as it goes on. But then they get easier the more you deal with it. That's the way life is. Life, if I was to go back to being 20-something, I wouldn't know the things I know today. Jesus, He helps us. He'll help us with any problem we have out there. No matter how small and no matter how big. He'll take care of it. Jesus will do that for us. I know it seems like we're going to get out of church pretty early today, but that was all that he had for me to talk about.